To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa. Easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.
So good, so good, so good.
Just in and so good. Thousands of winter deals are at Nordstrom Rack stores now. And that means thousands of fresh reasons to rack.
Because we get the latest trends for way less.
Because I've been looking for these.
Because the best deals go fast.
Save big with up to 60% off. Sam Edelman, Sorel, Free People, Cole Haan, and more cold weather finds. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
A little self-care can go a long way, especially amidst the hustle and bustle of the holidays. That's where Vegamore comes in. Trusted by millions, Vegamore is all about giving your hair the love and care it deserves. With their vegan and cruelty-free formulas, you can nourish and revitalize your strands while indulging in some much-needed pampering. Because let's face it, who couldn't use a bit more me time this time of year? Go to vegamore.com/ACAST, code ACAST. That's vegamor.com/ACAST, code ACAST.
Surviving Reality contains explicit content full of snark and sarcasm that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Reality.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly. And today we are talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, Episode 10, Kiss Kiss, Bangs Bangs.
Oh, man.
There were a lot of bangs.
Well, there wasn't enough bangs where there needed to be bangs, I think, in a few spots. Was it too much or too little?
It was too much.
Too much?
They started very far back.
I did notice that. It was very toupee-like.
I can't wait to explain what's going on because I know you were confused by it.
Couldn't clock it. I could tell something was off by looking. You can generally tell that it's not okay. Something's wrong. Something's off.
We are, of course, talking about Meredith Marks' hairdo at the themed brunch. This was peak Housewives.
We had a themed brunch excursion sort of hosting event that took place here.
Yeah, 10 out of 10, no notes. Chomping at the bit to start talking about it.
All right, so we'll get started with the episode description for this one, which is an Audrey Hepburn-inspired brunch. Mary and Meredith's friendship lands in a rocky place. Heather has resentment over Palm Springs. Todd is disappointed in Bronwyn's behavior. Angie makes an emotional confession to her dad.
The first sentence is just an Audrey Hepburn-inspired lunch?
Brunch, yes.
That's the whole first sentence?
That is the first sentence of the
complete thought.
An Audrey Hepburn-inspired brunch.
Okay.
That is the episode. That is what it is.
I've got a different version of events.
It's not just a hodgepodge of different factoids in not chronological order for the episode? Or is it?
You know what? It is chronological order.
Okay, good.
I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah. All right, let's hear it.
The whole group is invited to a themed brunch. Heather realizes she's been bested. Mary is relieved when Meredith takes her Flintstone bangs somewhere else.
The fact that they kept saying it's the whole group when Maylee wasn't there is just proof that they have completely given up on her as a cast member. They immediately regretted it 2 episodes in, and they have decided to end the casting.
So embarrassing.
She's not doing it.
I'd be mortified.
So if she comes back next episode, that's when I'm really going to be upset.
I just can't believe that Brittany somehow won that duel between the two of them.
There wasn't much of a competition.
Well, she wasn't delivering anything.
Nothing. So something is better than nothing by comparison.
All right. Well, I'll give her that. Let's get into it because this episode opens and Mary is starting to set up for the breakfast. Is it a breakfast at Tiffany's brunch? It's an Audrey Hepburn-inspired brunch.
She kind of tries to say it's an Audrey Hepburn thing, but then they're calling it breakfast at Mary's. So it seems to be more of a breakfast at Tiffany's type of theme. No wildly racist Asian stereotypes depictions here, thankfully. So that's good.
I can't decide what to think about it. It's like someone... No, I know what it is. It was giving Below Deck. It was Mary tablescaping.
Yeah, Chief Stew, Mary.
Not even. Second Stew. Not very good or experienced at tablescaping. The decorations were a little cheesy. At one point, she frames a picture of Audrey Hepburn and puts it on the table.
But then she's also picking up things that the staff, because let's be honest, it's a lot of people involved in this. Not so much. It's just Mary kind of walking around and saying things that she likes.
But
or
it's like
that
a
she
weird
doesn't.
collection of people.
Yeah, and then they're trying to wear outfits that are, I guess they're on theme. Are they on theme?
They're trying to look like butlers.
But everybody looks out of place in different ways for different reasons.
Yes. It was bizarre.
Because then why do you have a bouncer, too? There was like a guy who was checking names at the door when people were coming in.
You got to have security.
Security. Well, yeah, they needed security.
You never know when Meredith will yell for someone.
But to have like a guest list. So like, did Maylee try to show up? And they were like, yeah, we don't know who you are.
That is weird when everyone is invited anyway.
You need to go. There wasn't a table setting for her. So I don't think she got an official invite. I don't think she's been part of the cast. We're kind of over it at this point.
Maybe she was worried Robert Jr. and his wife would try to sit at the table.
Yeah, she needed to put names down. These are assigned seats, and nobody else can get beyond this point unless their name is on this list. But that's a later problem. So that's just Mary's getting started on it. She's trying to prepare everything for that wonderful event that's happening later. We've got a couple of things to get updated on before we get to that.
Of course, Heather didn't go on the Palm Springs trip, so she's got to catch up with Lisa to find out everything that went down. But she thinks that she's meeting her for sushi.
Because the place is called Kimosabi, but instead it's a hat store?
It's a raccoon penis hat bar.
It's a hidden bar in a hat shop, and then one of the hats happens to have a raccoon penis on it, too. Who knew?
Well,
not Lisa.
Do you think Bronwyn or Mary would purchase that hat?
With raccoon penis on it?
Yeah. Is it couture or is it costume?
I don't think it's either of those. I don't think it's any of their aesthetics.
It's not a flex.
No, yeah, there's nothing to tout over that. It's too readily available. There's a lot of raccoons in the world. It's not exclusive enough. Exclusionary.
They need like an endangered animal penis?
That they might go for. But then usually if you're buying something that has an endangered species on it, that's not allowed, generally frowned upon. But I feel like that would be more their vibe.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Mary is all that familiar with a lot of animals.
Yeah, Lisa definitely wasn't. She didn't even know that raccoons had penises until it was brought up and shown to her.
To be fair, she said she never thought about it.
Okay.
Do you spend time thinking about what animals do and don't have penises or what they look like?
Well, there's different animals and how they procreate, I suppose.
Yeah. Did we get a good shot of it? I feel like we didn't.
No, they did not go into the anatomical structure of the raccoon penis.
I mean, now I'm curious. Do you think it was furry?
No, I don't. I don't think so.
Great.
I just need to know, is it barbed like a cat's?
We're far off topic.
Yeah, we're going to get
I feel like if it was, there would have been more questions.
Yeah. They kind of seem to not want to talk about it as much as we're talking about it. They were kind of glossing over it very quickly and moving on.
Well, they had more important things to get to.
There was a lot of other stuff to talk about. Mostly dishing about the California trip and solidifying their rivalry that they have with Bronwyn. Because Lisa was kind of on the fence with Bronwyn, wasn't really sure. Then she was giving her shit on the trip. And so now I think she's like, yeah, Heather, I'm with you. Bronwyn is kind of risky here, and it's you and me versus the world, babe.
Yeah, she did present it as though Bronwyn is putting her in the middle, that she's putting her in an impossible situation. So, of course, I'm going to pick the person who isn't making me choose, and that's you, Heather, which Heather is happy to hear, but she is really taken aback by the fact that Lisa was almost kicked off the trip.
Again, the uninviting, the not inviting. And now they're bonding over that.
She's caching that information for later.
Yeah, she's going to hold on to that.
Now, Heather is getting a real shit edit this season.
And I love it, though. It's really, I mean, it's funny. It's good.
You can tell that they are purposely trolling her because at this at the end of this conversation, they do little cheers, a toast, if you will, and then Heather proceeds to drop most of her drink on the bar.
She tipped the glass as if she was drinking from the rim, but there's a straw. So she was drinking from the straw, but she continued to tip this completely full drink, which dumped a good amount of it right onto the bar. Did they need to keep that in for that to conclude this segment here? I don't think the editors needed to. That was a choice.
Yeah, she's the butt of all the jokes this season.
They're just making her look like a doofus. And I love it. I really do.
I do also enjoy that she is not enjoying the experience because normally she is the one who brings the levity to situations. She's the one who has the jokes. But when she's the one who's the punchline, she's not doing so well.
Yeah, so I don't know if she realizes yet, because then some of this stuff, there's probably things like that they have filmed in previous seasons that they did not include because they were protecting her image for that and being considerate. And now this season, they're not. They're looking for those things to include and keep in as part of the show now. So I feel like she probably didn't even know at the time that these things were going to be happening.
No, of course. The next little catch-up that we have to have is with Todd and Bronwyn. And it's a more of a daddy's very disappointed in you kind of conversation.
I don't like that. Don't like that. Yeah, there was a lot of disappointment in Bronwyn's reaction in the hot tub where she was yelling. So when Bronwyn was trying to say, "You thought I was yelling?" and play it off as if she wasn't yelling, because she very clearly was yelling. She was yelling a lot of stuff. You could see the vein in her neck. So, I mean, there was yelling that was happening. But for Todd to then go and blame her and say, "You ruined a perfectly good afternoon because of your reaction," that's bullshit.
There are a lot of really mixed feelings about Todd. Some people feel like he's just really no bullshit, and they like that aspect of him and that he's really different from the other husbands on the show. Husbands. And then there's the other group who feel really weirded out by the way he speaks to her.
This was the conversation where it was confirmed for me that I am alarmed with how desperate Bronwyn is in seeking Todd's approval. Because she confirmed that I think Todd's approval means everything to me. Not just a lot or more than you would expect. I think it means everything. So that's kind of scary.
It's starting to have this weird daddy warbucks, older man, younger woman who's been constantly seeking approval her entire life and has found it in this one person kind of dynamic.
I don't think that's how Annie ends. Daddy Warbucks. Unless there is a subtext in that performance that I am not aware of.
It's a reimagining.
That's like a Lolita crossover event that happens. Not a fan. I just don't like how it's Todd. It seems like he kind of plays off of Bronwyn's insecurities, and that's the part that I don't like. So then he's controlling her behavior by saying, "If you act that way, you do not have my favor."
King Henry VIII vibes.
He's steering it. Yeah, it's just I don't like the control that goes along with the manipulation. It's manipulative.
I don't think everyone sees it that way, though. Alternatively, in his defense, he's just trying to encourage her to act like a better person.
Not everything that he says is terrible in this. There are some little tokens here and there, some little nuggets where if you are surrounding yourself with people who are dragging you down, that's not good, and your friends should make you a better person. Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. That's good advice, sure. But maybe Bronwyn needs to check and reassess too. Everybody who's around her should be bringing her up, not just friends.
Daddy included.
Is everyone being supportive?
He thought she was going to come on this show and roll in here and be the richest, most sophisticated, classy housewife that has ever existed.
Most smartest. Get a picture of that.
You gotta roll in the dirt with the rest of them.
And also,
the mud.
Yeah, like how is it going to be that you're going to be this icon of the show, but then also not engage
I'm disengaging.
You would not be arguing or fighting with any of these people. You're not going to get airtime. You're going to be right out the door with Mei Li.
I think he thought she was going to come into this like Countess Luann in the original Roni. Spoiler, it didn't end well for her.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to say,
she's doing drunk cabaret shows now.
I mean, I would go to see Bronwyn do drunk cabaret. I honestly would.
That's a future plan.
At this point, Bronwyn really won me over. I'm surprised with how much I did not like her at first. And I think it was because there was that snob appeal that they were leaning into a little bit too much. It was too materialistic and it just seemed very inauthentic and fake. So the more that we've seen of her and seen her interact with the rest of the cast, she's really grown on me.
I do like her sense of humor and that she is willing to point out when things are really awkward. She gives great facial expressions, too. She's not one to hide what's going on.
That's true. Yeah. We're getting a lot of reactions from her.
So she's a little worried because she knows she's basically walking into the lion's den with this brunch because she's got Heather and Lisa who are upset with her. She's got to duel it out with the OG housewives here.
That's going to be tough.
And she's got to live up to Todd's expectations at the end of the day, too.
By not bringing the thunder that she's going to need to get through this brunch.
Well, we got more dad footage because Angie's dad stops by for a little dinner. This was an extremely depressing conversation.
Yeah, really derailed the episode, I think, for the most part. And I get it. They're laying the groundwork for future episodes and continuing storylines for Angie with her helicopter mom tendencies. And now we're getting some of the backstory of why she's so overbearing with Elektra.
I think it's also a soft launch of the addiction storyline.
And it's
with Robert Jr.
It's making more sense of why she's paired up with Mary Cosby for this season, too. Because at the beginning of the season, an unlikely duo, to say the least.
Unlikely, but I enjoy watching them together.
Still enjoyable.
Yeah.
But I would not have put them together.
Never.
Just on a whim. So there's like another layer to that connection and that relationship that's building as well. So that was nice to see.
I guess like the summary of this entire scene is Angie needs EMDR therapy.
It's either that, because at first I was like, oh gosh, she's crying, talking about this. So yeah, it is still very real for her. Maybe some EMDR therapy.
Well, let's talk about what she's talking about to begin with.
It's her relationship with her mom. Her mom passed away when she was 8. Her mom was an alcoholic. So she's feeling like she's kind of going above and beyond with her role as a mom to make up for the lack of mothering that she had growing up. So that's where a lot of the emotion was coming from. But I think the other part was I was noticing when she was crying, she was doing kind of the Robin cry where there weren't really any tears. So she was kind of having her voice crack and putting on the performance a little bit from what I could tell. But I mean, again, 90% of these women's faces are plastic surgery.
Oh, it's a lot of filler.
Botox
the filler is sucking up the tears.
You're dried out, and it's just there's not much you can do there. There's not a lot of range of motion that's left in those muscles.
Well, I think she also has complex emotions around this particular topic because she started telling that story about how she was detangling Elektra's necklaces.
Which is an odd way to pass the time, I suppose, I guess.
And one of them happened to be a necklace that was supposed to be a memory related back to her mom that was gifted to Elektra when she was little. And she kind of just looked at it and had no emotion about it.
So that's the other part is, are we having these overly emotional things, or is it the lack of emotional reactions that we're having?
See, that's where I'm saying I don't know what exactly is going on.
What's the problem that we're dealing? Is it too much emotion? Not enough emotion?
Well, it could be scary for her that she's not experiencing emotions.
She's having emotion that she's not having emotion.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's weird.
That's a couple layers
for her.
Yeah, that's strange. But I mean, that makes sense. It's a very complicated situation.
Kind of just ends with her dad giving her a hug, telling her everything's going to be okay.
And I mean, I hope so. Yeah, I guess so. Hopefully. Let's maybe take some steps. I am concerned for Elektra now, too, with the overbearing parenting, if that's becoming a very real thing in Angie's storyline here.
Well, I thought it was funny that it got brought up again because we're still combating the original story between Lisa and Angie, with Lisa not being a good mom, allowing Henry to play video games late into the night, and then her being a helicopter mom to Elektra.
Angie is such a good mom that she's an overbearing mom.
So we killed two birds with one stone here. We have the intro of a storyline about, sadly, addiction, and then we have Angie's parenting, defense of Angie's parenting. Let's move on to the breakfast at Mary's lunch. Brunch. I keep calling it lunch. What did they eat? Did you even see what they ate?
No, it seemed like a lot of liquids were being consumed. A lot of beverages.
Yeah. I only remember the rolls.
Do you know what I remember? Yeah, there was bread, because I feel like most of this event was just set up so that Mary could take direct shots at Brittany. Just the entire event in general. The only reason she invited her. But I do also vaguely recall, 2 pieces of asparagus lying on a plate covered in some sort of white sauce. And I think that was something that...
A bechamel sauce?
That was being set in front of people, but just
hollandaise?
2 stalks of asparagus as I hope it's an appetizer. I don't think that's the entree.
I don't think Mary eats that much. She's always criticizing other people for the food that they're eating at parties.
Yeah, so I think they're all filling up on drinks.
Asparagus and bread. You need the bread to suck up the drinks.
Yeah.
Was it Miller Lite? High Life?
Miller High Life, I think, is the champagne of beers that Mary is a real big fan of now. So yeah, perhaps they were toasting a couple of rounds of that.
It kind of looked like it could have been.
It easily could have been.
Anyway.
Okay, yeah, but...
The party starts.
Is
it a party?
Has it started yet? Because no. Bronwyn arrives, but there ain't nobody here. Mary's not even here. So what time did the invite say, and what time did Bronwyn arrive?
I don't know. She's horrified, though, because she does not try to come on time to parties. She's typically fashionably late, and now she somehow managed to be the first person here, and Mary does not make an effort to greet her. There's just all these random butlers and a bartender, and then this big empty house.
Eduardo's got the drinks locked down, and I think Bronwyn nailed the look. She looks like Audrey Hepburn already, so I mean, she's got a head start. Way out in front of everybody else. So once she threw in the bangs, she's basically got it dialed in.
It was unfortunate that she was the first one to arrive because she nailed the look.
She set the bar so high.
And then all of them just disappointed after that.
There is no way you can match that level, because then who comes in next? Meredith. We go straight from the top right to the bottom.
The fact that we got the 2 women who attempted the bang look to be there together, and Bronwyn did a good job of not letting her face show what she was thinking when Meredith walked through the door.
She did say something, and it was kind of shitty. Because to Meredith, she made a joke about the bangs because she had bought the bangs too. And she was saying that they were, she was saying that like they're gonna put them out of stock basically with all the orders that are coming through for the bangs here.
Little did she know, the rest of them did not attempt the same thing.
Right.
All right, Meredith's hair. Let's talk about it.
Can you imagine being Meredith? Just put yourself into Meredith's situation here. If you had your hair looking like this and you thought, well, I mean, it's a breakfast at Tiffany's. It's a Audrey Hepburn kind of adjacent theme. Maybe everybody's going to try for something like this. It's going to be pretty close to this. Oh, well. And then you walk in and you see Bronwyn. How would you stay? How would you be able to walk into that room and continue?
No, I would have had a Jen Shaw emergency where somebody called me and I have to go to the hospital.
I have to leave.
I have to leave. I have to go.
I have to leave right now.
I can't stay here. She must have looked in the mirror, and when it was just her at home and there was no one else to compare to, she thought it looked great. It was a look. She was serving.
I think it was close enough. I think that was the assessment that probably passed through her head a few times. That was the thought that crossed her mind. Close enough. Good enough. And then she got there and realized very quickly, not good enough.
Are you ready for what happened? Do you want to know?
Okay, so what I was seeing, because I think did she place them way too far back?
They're not bangs. This is the end of her hair.
What?
Her hair is, you're going to make me do it. Her hair is in a bun.
I saw that her, I see what you're saying.
The front,
she brought it back.
They pulled the end of her hair
through
the front and made them look like fake bangs.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the problem right there. That's a big problem because I did see that at one point because I was like, what is going on? Because it was very uneven up in the front. We had like the squiggly line of like Charlie Brown's shirt across her forehead. And it started, it was at the top of her head at the back.
Where her elastic band is holding
where
her
she
bun.
had that pulled back. Yeah, so that was her hair that was at the back there. Okay, that makes more sense.
I don't know if it was her hair. It was extensions or something.
Well, yeah, something. It was, well, I mean, her hair was pulled back, though.
Yeah.
And it was up. And then that's why I was so confused. Why did the bangs start at the base of where her hair is pulled back? That's too far back.
I cannot imagine that a glam squad member would have done this to her hair. This is not professional. I saw it on TikTok. This is how you give yourself bangs without actually cutting your hair.
Close enough.
She couldn't have gone to Angie's. Well, she's mad at Angie.
She is
See, that's why you have to obtain and have continued friendships with hairstylists.
Yeah. Here's the thing. She probably did go to Angie's salon. And they were
did
like,
her dirty?
Yeah, you look good. Looks good. You're all set.
The new Boost Mobile network is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for life.
That sounds like a threat.
Then how do you think we should say it?
Unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for the rest of your life?
I don't know.
Until your ultimate demise.
What if we just say forever?
Okay.
$25 a month, forever.
Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile forever.
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
So good, so good, so good.
Just in and so good. Thousands of winter deals are at Nordstrom Rack stores now. And that means thousands of fresh reasons to rack.
Because we get the latest trends for way less.
Because I've been looking for these.
Because the best deals go fast.
Save big with up to 60% off. Sam Edelman, Sorel, Free People, Cole Haan, and more cold weather finds. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
Now, off in the distance, they hear the tippy tap of heels on marble, and they know that Mary Cosby is approaching.
She's nearby. Yeah, she's getting close.
Which was not what you thought was going to happen. You thought she was going to make a grand entrance.
I thought, since she wasn't greeting people individually, but that just begs the question, what time did Bronwyn show up? If you were invited to an Audrey Hepburn breakfast at Tiffany's at Mary's house, and the invite has a time on it, which I'm assuming it did, what time would you actually show up? So if this was a 10:30 on the invite sort of a thing for 10:30 in the morning for a brunch, or 11, I don't know what time it was. What time would you show up?
I'm scared of Mary Cosby, so I would be there at 10:30 sharp, and I would have waited in the car if I was early, because I would be deathly afraid that she would yell at me for being early and that she would yell at me for being late.
Yeah, you can't be early because that's an inconvenience to the host. So if you're right on time, though, I don't think they were able to wait, because then there was staff that was right there ready to pull you out of your car and shove you into the front door. There was a lot of things that were just kind of happening here.
Maybe she was just hungry. It's brunch.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I thought that Mary wasn't doing like a whole hosting thing. I thought this was like an event, like a spectacle. It's an experience. And so I thought she was going to have some sort of grand entrance.
Descend down the stairs with the picture of Robert Jr. in the background.
Something, but we didn't get that. Yeah, there wasn't this big reveal moment.
No, I was also extremely disappointed by Mary's outfit.
It was very toned down, very simple.
She looked like a Gilded Age widow.
I mean, it's a look, I guess, but I don't know if it's Audrey Hepburn as a look. So she was getting upset with people who weren't really on theme with this, but was she? I might just be missing the reference here, because she didn't go with the classic Breakfast at Tiffany's one.
It was giving I'm in mourning, and she did not get the bangs. She said, I'm not demeaning myself that way.
Yeah, I think maybe here's what happened. She tried, and then she would have ended up coming down like Meredith was looking, right? Because Meredith was, close enough. And Mary did that, tried it, and said, nope, we got to change this up. Get rid of that.
I won't embarrass myself that way in front of the group.
I'm not going to do that. Lisa just rolls up. I don't think she was doing a theme either. She's not really on point. She's just trying to steal a Mary Cosby look. She is just trying to start shit with everyone this season. She knows, how will I upset Mary in the deepest way? I will wear one of her outfits to a party that she's invited me to at her house.
I could also see Lisa being completely unaware of the fact that Mary had worn that before.
Yeah, that I do believe too.
I think she looked in her closet and said, what is the closest thing I have to Tiffany blue? And she pulled that jumpsuit out. And it was an unfortunate coincidence that Mary also owns it. Although maybe not, because there have been a lot of conversations already this season about who owns what. I mean, Mary wasn't upset about the heart jacket that Bronwyn has. She said she owns one too.
I don't think she owns one. Maybe she had one or she saw one, because I think there's like 3 in the world or something.
Oh, maybe I made that up.
Yeah, I don't know if they both own one.
My assumption was if there are 3, they own 2 of them.
No. Because I think Rihanna had one. And then there's one in a museum or something.
That was it.
Yeah. Different. Okay.
Now, the jumpsuit.
Oh,
we have to keep talking about it.
You're going to keep going?
Lisa, on her Instagram stories, went out of her way to post the video she took from the runway show where she saw the model wearing this because she was trying to...
She was defending...
Was it a defense? I was about to say defense, but...
Yeah, I mean, she was arguing that...
Mary may have worn it first, but she bought it retail.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, Lisa saw it first, though.
I guess that was her clapback to the episode.
Yeah, but just because you saw something at Fashion Week and then you wait how many years or how many months
2 years to wear it.
To actually go out, acquire it, and then wear it somewhere... That doesn't mean that you get to do that.
I mean, what other occasion would she have had to have worn this?
I mean, if you were skiing. And like it was a soft swinging skiing party. Oh, different skiing. I'm sorry.
That's not where I thought that was going. But
okay, yeah. Is that
somehow it works for that situation?
Yeah, that's the aesthetic, though. I think that's what we're capturing here. Whitney does a good job of kind of going with the style, the flair, the energy that Mary had for the theme of this party. That was what she wanted to capture, was the iconic classic look of Audrey Hepburn, but with your own personal style and custom spin on it.
Which was a headband.
Nailed it. With the classic Whitney hair shape.
Nothing says style like a headband.
Yeah. Robin knows. Season 1 Robin?
Doesn't Whitney actually have bangs? Am I imagining that now?
Not Audrey Hepburn bangs, though.
No.
Well,
I bet you they don't make those in blonde.
That's probably the bigger issue. Yeah. Because at one point she did put the wig on, the bangs on, to impersonate Meredith at one point, which...
I'm pretty sure that was a small toupee that they had for her.
That had to have been.
Heather, for some reason, gets kudos from Mary for what she's wearing, but she's just wearing a white turtleneck sweater and a skirt.
I don't
exactly.
Even know.
Silence.
I don't even know if she had.
She put a couple of clips in her hair that had some pearls on them. Not real pearls.
I don't think she knew
a
that.
Pearl look
it was
barrette.
I don't think she knew that there was a theme to this at all. She just knew we had to film this today.
I mean, they confirmed that everybody knew about the theme when Brittany got there.
It didn't seem... Well, yeah. I just like that Heather had completely ignored Bronwyn and then didn't address it at all. Bronwyn very clearly noticed. And then Mary Cosby had asked Heather about it. Did you say hello to Bronwyn? No.
Yeah, we'd be like, don't be a shit stirrer, Mary.
No.
How many times has Mary walked into a party and not said hello to someone she doesn't like?
I know, for a second I was wondering if she was going to... Did she tell Brittany the wrong time to show up? So then that way it looks like she was way later than everybody else?
I invited you. I don't know why you didn't come.
You're lucky. You're lucky you got an invite. Because, yeah, now we're sitting down at the table with all the gifts. Brittany isn't here yet, because then she just pops up.
Well, she was only invited, though, for one specific purpose. So I guess it doesn't really matter to Mary whether she comes or not. It would be a bonus if Brittany showed up, because then she would know for sure that Mary isn't poor.
That was the main goal. That was the reason why she's putting this on today. But I think the other reason that it ends up being is that Mary takes on this whole Oprah sort of persona that she needs to fix everybody's relationships. And that's what we're here to talk about today. You need to talk about your feelings and we need to communicate effectively. And she's kind of going through airing of grievances of all these different arguments that are going on between the friend group.
But first, she's got to mediate about the Versace plates. Come on. We can't skip over it.
Well, Angie seems to be under the impression, because I think with the Greek key, right? Is that's what she's talking about?
That's the design that's on the plates.
That pattern.
Yeah.
Something tells me that Versace wasn't the first one to use that pattern.
No, something tells me that's an ancient and historically used pattern in many civilizations around the world.
So to say that, I think the point that Angie was trying to make was that Abraham Lincoln had some stuff that had that design, that pattern to it. She said Versace, and that's what everybody got hung up on. Clearly, that wasn't the same thing that wasn't the point of what they were talking about.
That Abe Lincoln and Versace did not exist in the same timeline.
Correct. Well, yeah, not at the exact same time.
I saw the plates. You can actually look them up.
The Abraham Lincoln ones?
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln's plates.
It was on there? You got
Yeah, it was on there.
Versace stamped right on the back?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait. No, now I'm confused. What?
Maybe she should make some Versace plates. Some fake Versace Abe Lincoln plates.
Ask Whitney. She's probably got a good connection for imitation stuff.
There you go. You can get them cheap on Alibaba.
Right next to you.
You know what? Speaking of, we have to give a big congratulations. Well, you know what? We're gonna roll with that because it's in honor of Meredith Marks.
Oh, yes.
She now has a collab with Lush, and she is selling bath bombs with them.
Her dreams have come true.
Glad to see her manifesting things for herself.
If you make your entire identity baths for 5 seasons on a reality TV series, you too can get a deal with Lush.
She's going to have to figure out what other bath accessories she can expand into.
Robes. And then I guess it would be like styling stuff that you can kind of lean into, like hair dryers and straighteners. And
Okay,
things. What other bath things? Sponges.
Maybe bath oils.
A loofah. Even though people are turning
She's
on
the
loofahs.
expert.
Yeah, people are revolting against loofahs now, though. So I don't know if
they hold a lot of bacteria.
Yeah, it's too risky now. Too political to get involved in the loofah game at this point.
All right, Brittany does finally show up. She missed all the good conversation, but saved the best for last. Did she just come from like selling real estate?
Again, Mary had to call out the fact that everybody received the same invites, which makes me suspect that she did send a specific invite to Brittany with a later time because she had to immediately dispute the claim that people were receiving different invites. No. Everyone had the same invite. It was the same. Same instructions, same everything, same time, same place.
That was just a way to drag her because she's wearing just like a white suit. She's got a white shirt on.
I would say,
it was looking modern art museum.
Her and Heather are in the same boat. It's the same place that they just came from. Maybe they were playing pickleball together. Is that what was going on?
I don't know, but the minute that Brittany sits down, Heather starts to stir the pot.
It's a big cheers moment. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the invite, Mary.
And including all of us.
Every one of us, except for Maylee, of course.
It's really nice for us all to be invited to gather in one place, since that happens so little these days.
Yeah, because Bronwyn didn't even extend an invite to Heather. Even though she did, she said that she was trying to get to a place. She wanted Heather to come on the trip. They had a sit-down conversation beforehand. Heather missed all of that. She wasn't listening. She didn't hear any of that.
I think it's really comical that Heather has invited Brittany into the group, and then Heather is trying to have her 15 minutes. She's trying to start a fight at this big brunch, and Brittany immediately tries to steal the floor from her.
Yeah, because we kind of had Mary mediating a little bit. She was steering because she was still all about the friendship conversation and how great it is that we're spending time together. And that is why I sent everyone invitations, the same invitations with the same information, so that we could all be here together today. And then Brittany is now shitty about not getting invited either. So she's jumping in on, yeah, Heather's upset about not being invited. I wasn't invited to that either. Everybody else went to Palm Springs. What's the deal?
She didn't even get an answer. No one even dignified that with the response. It's just nobody likes you.
Well, nobody likes you. And then it was a couple's trip, too. So we didn't know how many people we were going to have to invite based on your relationship status. So she was getting all upset. But then she opens with a shot against Bronwyn for the invite and then immediately goes to Angie.
Yeah, because nobody bit.
Yep.
So she's got to pull out the second story that she came with here today, which is she's still shitty that Angie showed up to her house when she was having a church gathering and she handed her a bottle of wine in front of everybody.
In front of her family, her Mormon church family. And that's just insulting.
Which she says as she's drinking from a wine glass.
Champagne and beers. Miller High Life right in front of her. Whitney called it out, though, at least. Are you upset that Angie brought the wine? Or are you more upset that she exposed your drinking? Because
definitely the latter.
I think it's feeling more like it's the other one.
Yeah. She definitely drank that bottle of wine after everybody left.
She drank it before she came here today. Out in the car. As security was checking to see if her name was on the list.
No, it was a great bottle of wine, actually.
Delicious, some would say.
It was delicious. It was just the setting. I would prefer that you hand me bottles of wine in private. Then this opened a weird side conversation that did not happen at the table that I wish we had delved further into, which is apparently Jared has been blowing up Mary Cosby's DMs.
That was an unexpected turn because I wasn't sure why that was happening and where that came from, because I think that was part of where Angie was saying she was confused if we want to talk about sins that Brittany is committing and drinking being one of the big ones for her. She's like, I don't know. You're banging like 3 dudes. So what's the deal? I don't get why that's a big problem anyway. And then we find out, I guess, Jared's trying to get with Mary Cosby too. What's going on with these DMs?
He's sending her very strange messages. My amazing friend Mary. He also spelled her name incorrectly.
Oh, boy.
I'm sure she loved that.
Yeah.
What a quality and amazing human. That's the thing that they showed, but here's the whole thing. What a quality and amazing human you are. What a pleasure it was to meet you. Then he messaged her later that day. Mary, it was such a pleasure. I think you are amazing. You have a blessed day as well. You are one of God's greatest daughters.
So has she been deleting her responses then?
I wonder if she did, because I don't know why he said that, because you can't see it in there.
Right. Oh, so that's interesting.
All right.
She's cleaning up the responses.
Now there's another one. This one is the beginning of April, so that one was in March. Oh, my sweet friend Mary, I do not believe any of the drama that came from Bronwyn. In fact, at that dinner that I was at, I defended you. I think you are a very sweet and wonderful woman. And then I can't see the rest of it. But then it says, I was immediately connected to you as a daughter of God. I feel that spiritual connection still. You and I are definitely in a good space. If there's anything I can ever do for you, just know that I'm right here. And then every time she's responding, the only thing we're seeing is that she's liking the messages. And then she either it's a single emoji. Either a hand clapping emoji. This one was a fire emoji.
Oh.
She really liked that last message.
Okay.
So I don't know. It also seems as though maybe she's misleading him as far as the quality of their friendship.
I don't think that somebody would be sending DMs like that and then not get any response or a single emoji back. I feel like she is editing that before she's sending those screenshots of the DMs.
To the producers?
Absolutely. She's covering her butt.
Well, she didn't say it to the table, so I feel like it's going to come up later this season.
Well, especially, yeah, she's like, I got plenty of other things that are going on that I'm actually concerned about. I don't need to start anything with Brittany because it's not a fair fight either. Brittany doesn't stand a chance going against Mary Cosby.
And to be fair, I don't think he's trying to get with her. It's just weird messages.
It's very strange. It's a weird dynamic. And then I feel like Brittany would take that, though, as cheating.
Oh, you're probably right.
Yeah, that you were moving in on the Osmond, and that's just blatant disrespect.
I kind of think that maybe he's just trying to get invited to these events where they're filming.
That was his last-ditch effort to try and go to Palm Springs. He really wanted to go to the race.
Well, speaking of, Brittany has managed to get everybody's attention, so Heather's got to get it back. We're going to rein this in.
Yeah, because that's not going anywhere either. That's
we're
lame.
tired of talking about you, Brittany, and your problems.
You had to shift from one thing to the next already because there was nothing going on. So let me show you how it's done real quick.
I guess she brings up the prenup thing again about Bronwyn and Todd's marriage. I don't think she actually cares at all about it.
I don't think so either. I think she knows that it gets under Bronwyn's skin.
Exactly.
Though. So that's why she's bringing that up.
She's getting her riled up.
Yeah, and it's working.
It is. Bronwyn's like, you don't even know anything about Todd.
And Heather is ready to list the things that she does know about Todd, of which there are 3.
I don't remember the first one.
That they don't have a prenup.
Okay.
That's the first one.
Well, the obvious one.
Yeah.
2, he collects Starbucks mugs.
That we do know.
Which everyone at the table kind of like looks at each other. Like, what?
What? Yeah, I think that was that's probably not the first time they've heard of it, though. I'm sure Heather was letting everybody know as soon as she left Bronwyn's house.
And 3, that he's an asshole and he kicks people out of parties early.
Or he attempts to. He is an asshole when he's trying to get people to leave and uninvite them from vacations.
I think that Todd should be very proud of Bronwyn because she didn't respond to the asshole allegation. You could tell that Heather was trying to say things to get Bronwyn to flip out. And she didn't. She stayed quiet and she waited until there was something to actually respond to.
And the counter that she comes with is that she did want Heather there. She wanted Heather on this trip. That was why she invited her over and had that conversation, was to get to a place where they could go on this trip. She wanted her to go on the trip so bad that she, in fact, already had first-class tickets purchased with Heather's name on it.
Which is shocking for multiple reasons.
Several reasons.
Number 1, I don't believe Angie that she didn't care about sitting in coach because the look on her face when Bronwyn said that it was a first-class ticket.
Oh, yeah, there was a shock there. Because Lisa was upset by that, too.
Well, obviously, Lisa was going to be upset about it.
Very clearly, yes.
She would retroactively go back in time and take that seat if she had known.
Well, yeah, because you just canceled it. You let it go back, and then now none of us were able to get it.
Heather doesn't care about that, though. She thinks it's impossible that Bronwyn had actually purchased this ticket. She doesn't believe it. She needs screenshots, proof, everything. Because you don't know my birthday. How did you book me a ticket on a commercial flight?
Not just Bronwyn. Nobody in this room knows Heather's actual birthday.
Which sends shockwaves through the room.
But Whitney knows.
Does she?
Close enough.
She didn't know the year.
She didn't know the year, but
you
she knew the day.
You need to know the whole thing.
Well, you could just thumb in something else for the year, I suppose.
It has to match your ID. They won't let you get on the plane.
Maybe the producers gave it to him. See, this debunks a lot of things because, yeah, if you're booking this, a lot of people were saying, oh, maybe they decided to fly commercial going home because things didn't go so well, and that was like the punishment. This implies that, no, they were planning from the start, because if she bought a ticket for Heather, that was before they left. So that wasn't a game time decision while they were there.
But so you bought Heather, the person who you're getting along with the least, a first class ticket?
That's weird.
When you know that your bestie, Lisa, is going to be totally upset that she didn't get to sit in first class?
Maybe that was a way to get Heather closer to Bronwyn on that trip.
To buy her favor and her love.
Buy the favor and then also make Lisa a little bit jealous. And it gets Heather a little bit away from Lisa, too, because you have that separation there. Seems like a stretch. It's a lot of different stretches that are happening here.
All I know is that was a very coveted ticket.
Oh, yes. And people would have paid top dollar for that seat. Let me tell you.
And that just reopens the entire conversation of sitting in coach.
Which Bronwyn doesn't have a great defense, because then she's coming at everyone else of saying, you're overreacting because this was a gift from me and my husband. We bought you all sorts of trips. We flew private there. We bought you your flights back. It's a 67-minute flight, so it doesn't really matter. Why are you guys complaining so bad? And Heather calls out the obvious, because I think we asked this last week too. If it's not a big deal for a 67-minute flight, then why did you and Todd book first-class seats? And we get the answer you'd expect.
It was my goddamn credit card.
Because I'm not going to fly coach. Yeah. Like that was basically Bronwyn's response. And I think that was the issue that a lot of people had was, yes, you needed to let us know if we are flying coach, let me know. So then that way I can upgrade it. I'm an adult.
I was waiting for someone to yell, I have a goddamn credit card too.
Yeah. Angie looked like she wanted to say it. Lisa, she was already trying to buy. There was only one seat left. And so she couldn't get to it by the time they had access to the flight map.
So everyone's mind is blown. And Heather is really struggling in this conversation because normally this is the point where she's already got someone so worked up and confused that they can't continue to argue with her.
Well, they'll just keep escalating where they'll keep getting more and more upset. And then they start getting erratic. And then Heather really tears them down because then they start saying stupid stuff. And it's weird, indefensible positions that they start taking. And so Heather can work with that. Bronwyn knows this game. Bronwyn probably does a lot of similar things like that. And so she's calling it out and she's keeping kind of a level head. She is getting a little bit upset.
And she's a step ahead of her, though. She's not giving her much.
She knows what's going on.
She doesn't have much to react to from what Bronwyn's saying.
So then Heather finally admits, we get there eventually. Yes, the reason why I'm getting so upset about this is because I was personally hurt for not being invited on the trip. And there is kind of a mutual apology that happens because, again, I did want to invite you. We just weren't in a place. I was trying to get to that place. We didn't get to that place. So uninvited. And Heather admits I maybe wasn't listening as part of that. I didn't get that intention behind it. So I overreacted too. So it's a mutual apology. Things are good. We're kind of glossed over. All set. Mary's very impressed that we can end that segment on a high note.
Great conflict resolution.
Excellent. Really pat myself on the back for another job well done.
Another hard day of mediation for Mary Cosby.
At the Breakfast at Tiffany's theme party, which seems like an odd place for that to take place.
I don't know if I really believe that all is forgiven.
No, I don't think it's all forgiven. I think they just got to a mutual understanding of saying, look, I'm not happy with the way things have been. We don't know each other, and I'm willing to still get to know you and move forward, move past this clean slate and actually build from here.
I only think that they got there, though, because Heather realized that she wasn't going to be able to win the argument with Bronwyn.
It was not a stalemate, but it was just, she got to that point.
I think it was kind of a stalemate.
I mean, I don't think so. I think Bronwyn kind of got the best of Heather in some ways in this. Because Heather really was doubling down on a lot of stuff. And then she kind of had to give in and say, yeah, I apologize too. And then they kind of resolved from there. But it didn't leave them in, okay, we're friends now. It left them in, I'm open to potentially being friends in the future. Which Heather then takes stock. Yeah, she's really good friends with Lisa and she's really close with her. They didn't start off on the best of terms.
No, they did not. That was I think the first fight we ever saw on Housewives of Salt Lake City, which was the fight about the thumbs up emoji.
Well, I don't know, because I think the very first episode, there was the fight where there was...
That was Meredith.
She was
disengaging with Jen Shaw.
And then, walking out. So that might have been like the first episode? Maybe. It's been a while.
The new Boost Mobile network is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for life.
That sounds like a threat.
Then how do you think we should say it?
Unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for the rest of your life?
I don't know.
Until your ultimate demise.
What if we just say forever?
Okay.
$25 a month, forever.
Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile forever.
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Well, thank God we're done with that. Let's talk about me again. What about me? Brittany.
That's what everyone in the audience was thinking at this exact moment. Yeah, what about Brittany? Because it's great that you guys got to conclude that fight and you really ended it on a great positive note.
Super weird. Mary starts to defend her?
I think she forgot that Brittany was there for a minute until the bread started going around again, because then that's what Mary had to keep an eye on her purse again.
Brittany constantly tries to create some type of storyline for herself, but it's not working.
And Brittany just strikes me as she has that very just junior high level maturity for everything. I thought it was just for dating, but it's also in relationships too, because it seems like she wants a lot of the rewards or the positive outcomes from a relationship, but she doesn't want to put work into it, because Bronwyn and Heather got to that point because they were both invested in this. They argued back and forth. They reached a mutual conclusion, and then they decided to move on. There was a lot that happened there. Brittany just wants that, but without any of the effort.
Well, I feel like Brittany has like a note on her phone of all of the things that she's going to bring up next time that she gets together with them. And that's what she's been doing. She's just been hitting bullet after bullet.
And then there's no actual driving force behind that. She doesn't have that motivation or that tenacity to kind of see that all the way through. She's just changing subjects all the time, because then now it's, oh, can we get back to talking about me again?
No, you know what? Let's watch how the Real Housewives do it. And Angie decides that it's time to finally address things with Meredith, because it's been kind of awkward since the start of this party, not just because of Meredith's hair. They still haven't really resolved the whole situation between Meredith and Sean. And so now is the time to do it in front of everyone, since we have the amazing mediator, Mary Cosby, here with us today.
All right, but are we moving backwards or are we moving forwards? I don't know, because I think Bronwyn and Heather decided to move forward with their relationship. And so now Meredith is kind of giving vague threats about moving backwards and stuff, because Angie perceived it as a threat.
Does she not realize that the things that she says come across as threats?
They sound like ultimatums, and they sound like very ominous. Like there's ill intention behind a lot of things that Meredith says, because that's what Whitney's pointing out too. Everybody at the table is like, we don't know what you mean by that. There's the implication of what you're saying, and it's scary.
I do think it was a threat, because she did show up today with the podcast on her phone.
She did have that at the ready this time, because then Angie wasn't letting it go. So then Meredith's like, okay, backwards it is. Here we go. Here comes the playback.
She pulls her phone out. There was no biatch this time.
Right. Well, yeah, it's
Seth's not here.
Yep, I almost said Sean. Yep, it's Seth's not here.
She presses play, and we hear Sean talking on the podcast about the situation with the rumors that happened last season. I thought we could hear it very clearly.
Well, to be fair, I'm pretty sure that they were dropping in that audio after the fact. This is not the location audio that you're hearing on the show.
Well, she's trying to hold the phone in the middle of the table so everybody can hear, and it's just close enough for Whitney's little paw to reach out and swipe it. She's pulling it away from her.
She nabbed it pretty quick, and then she was saying that she was trying to turn up the volume.
No.
But she is seen repeatedly tapping on the screen, which
is not the way you turn the volume up.
That's not where the volume goes. I think she did say at one point she was trying to pause the podcast so she could turn up the volume, but that doesn't match up either. I thought your assessment, though, was spot on, because if she was trying to pause it and she sees a play and pause button on the screen, if it was a screen recording, though, if you're tapping that button, it's not going to pause it.
I think that that's what happened, and she was getting frustrated that no matter how many times she tapped it, nothing was happening. It just kept playing.
So then it looked like she was tapping or swiping through, and so then Meredith gets very defensive of Whitney snooping through her phone now, or attempting to, I suppose.
And it all goes downhill from here.
Well, then Mary's trying to reel everybody back in. And I think at one point she ends up saying, if you're not going to listen to me, then get out of my house, because she's yelling at Whitney and she's yelling at Meredith.
Oh, I thought she was yelling at Angie.
Oh, it was Angie. I'm sorry.
Because that was kind of shocking, because she's besties with Angie.
Well, she was trying to let her know. She's being fair, though.
Well, Angie is yelling at Meredith that You're miserable. That's why you say these things. And she keeps bringing it up and she's not stopping and it's getting louder and Meredith is getting activated. And now she's putting her fur coat on and she's about to storm out.
Well, so that was, I think it was the, if you're not going to listen to me, then get out of my house. And Meredith only heard the last bit, was the get out of my house.
She wanted to leave.
She was ready to leave anyway. Yeah. And I think she realized too late, because then Mary clarified, I was saying, if you're not going to listen to me, then get out of my house. But at that point, she already had her fur coat on.
She can't take it off. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's just, it's so awkward at that point to then sit back down at the table.
It's so hot with these bangs. I think I got to go anyway.
I should have left as soon as I saw Bronwyn when I came in, and I still regret that. So I'm going to take this as my opportunity to leave, and I'm going to do that.
And that is the end of this episode. We did see a preview for next week, but it was kind of short. It looked like they were playing some type of outdoor games.
Yeah, there was like a Girl Scout camping sort of theme that was going on here.
Uh-huh.
Did it seem like Heather was driving most of that? Does this seem like a Heather plan?
That's what I thought. So it looks like maybe she's going to plan the next gathering.
So maybe Bronwyn will sabotage in some way just to get back, or they'll try to move forward on better terms, I guess. We'll have to see.
And then we did see Mary talking to her son, Robert Jr., about what's been going on with him. So looks like we'll get the beginning of that story finally.
And in terms of announcements, just a quick update for next week's episode. Normally that would be dropping on Friday morning, the 29th, or Thursday, the 28th, if you're on the Patreon. But Thursday is Thanksgiving here in America, so we're going to be bumping that back a day. So we'll be dropping the Patreon episode on Friday, and you'll see it on the public feed on November 30th.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text. The long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile.
Forever!
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever.
So good, so good, so good.
Perfect gifts? We've got them at Nordstrom Rack stores now. UGG, Nike, Barefoot Dreams, Kate Spade New York, and more. Find everything on their wish list all in one place.
Steve Madden? Yes, please.
It's perfect.
Did we just score?
The greatest gifts of all time? Yeah.
Head to your Nordstrom Rack store to score. Great brands, great prices, the greatest gifts of all time.
You've been waiting all year, and the moment is finally here. Boll & Branch is the bedding brand for better sleep, and their best sale of the year is happening now. Right now, you can get 25% off the organic cotton sheets loved by millions of sleepers. They feel breathable, luxuriously soft, and get softer with every wash. Shop Boll & Branch's cyber event with extended returns for the holiday season. Hurry to bollandbranch.com and use code BUTTERY for 25% off everything. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details.